to pull up the view.
Oh, good. The clock.
Yeah.
Now, we got sound and everything on Facebook? Okay.
What's the Facebook? How do I get it? I'm going to send this to a few people.
Just go to his page and then
Okay.
yeah.
It's Your Home with
Your
Alex
home with Alex
Guthrie.
Guthrie.
Mhm.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
And then when you need to make sure you talk right in.
Right in there. Okay.
How's that sound? Is that the volume good for you?
It's good.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Your home is your castle. Whether you need a pro or just great advice. Your
So
home
you look in that
with
camera and
Alex Guthrie.
And welcome to another edition of Your Home with Alex Guthrie. It is a beautiful, cloudy, cold, rainy day here in Big D. And I'm here with my very good friend, Miss Barbara Gilbert.
So great to be here, Alex.
I'm so glad to have you here.
I've been looking forward to this all week.
I have too.
Good.
Barbara is an award-winning designer, and she is going to straighten me out on a few of the things I've been doing wrong.
You bet. You know I will.
Not that I actually.
No, you never do anything
never
wrong.
do anything wrong, but then you haven't been talking to my wife lately.
No, that's a good thing.
So how have you been?
I've been great, staying busy. You know, Dallas is just a mecca for interior designers.
Boy, it is now.
So it is. It
Yeah.
really is. It's a good time for us.
So you've been doing a lot of new houses.
We're doing a lot of new houses. We do a lot of new construction, you know, from the blueprints on up. We do a lot of furnishings for the houses too. I don't know if I told you this, but I buy direct from the furniture dealers.
Oh,
So my clients are going to average about 25% off retail on everything, and everything is customized for them.
and so has the furniture manufacturing, has that changed much?
You know, it has changed. Luckily, a lot of things now are starting to come back to the United States. When things are done overseas, you know, they come through customs and they come in damaged, and it's been really a little bit trying because we have everything, you know, brought in direct to a receiving warehouse, so we have to take care of all the
Yeah, I
damages.
remember there's always been times when we're like, the client's like, where is my stuff? And you're like, in Houston.
Yeah, I know.
It's in the ship channel. Sorry, can't do anything about it.
Now it's on the ocean.
And everybody's calling down there going, where's my stuff? Oh, it'll be there in a few months, you know, as soon as we find the container ship.
Yeah.
Well, we've got such an incredible amount of houses being built right now.
Yeah.
We're in this big boom.
Yeah.
And it's so difficult for people to make the decisions on designing them. Now, I know a lot of builders, and particularly a lot of production builders, they give you these options, right?
Yeah.
So you can go in and you can pick out of 5 different colors per room. You know, you have these limited options, but it's not all about that. It's when you get to the furnishings.
Yeah.
To make those selections you make work.
Absolutely. You know, it really is about the whole thing, though, too, because we're going to make sure that when we're picking out the selections for the tile and the granite and, you know, all the flooring and everything that goes into the house, that it all flows. It doesn't have to be the same color, but we're going to make sure that the house flows. And then we take that into the furnishings aspect of it. So we do furniture floor plans. We make sure that the scale, the proportion, and
You
everything
got to
is
work with the
right.
lifestyle of the client.
Absolutely.
You know, they've got kids or dogs
Yeah.
or maybe parents at home and all kinds of stuff. You get to know them pretty.
We do, and it's
Yeah.
a long relationship. You know, I'm glad you brought that up because we're in a time right now that's so fabulous. We have a lot of fabrics that we use. Krypton is one.
Krypton.
This is
Superman's
it's
cape.
Superman cape now. Krypton
I
has
wondered
been
where that thing went.
Krypton has been used for years in pediatric offices and geriatric doctor offices. So once something spills on it, it all just beads right up. You can bleach it. You can do
Really?
whatever.
I've never heard of it.
Oh yeah, some sunbrella, and it's soft.
So
I
that's
mean,
why the furniture that if you go to the doctor when you're a kid and he's got the same furniture when you're 20,
Oh yeah, yeah.
it's still there.
It's still, and it lasted all that time. So we're doing fabrics that are family and pet friendly. Sombrella, same thing.
Uh-huh.
Unbelievably soft and good looking fabric.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. It is.
On today's show, we are going to be joined in just a little while by Mr. Bill McWellen. I think, pardon me if I'm not saying that right, Bill. I know you're listening. We're going to talk about retractable screens, which I've had some experience with them, and I love them. They're great if you can use them. He's going to call in a little bit. We're going to talk about some of the options that are available and things like that. And then in the next hour, we're going to have Frank Boyd and his partner, Rick Webster, and we're going to talk about interior home automation and entertainment systems and exterior TVs and weatherproof TVs and things like that. That's a whole. We used to just build boxes around them, and now you can just leave them out in the rain.
And now we have smart homes. They're not just homes, but they are smart.
I mean, you gotta kind of know how to work your iPhone now.
You really do.
You know, we're sitting here a little while ago. It was before you got here. I realized that I had forgot to bring my program with me that I'd worked all week on.
Oh boy!
And I was like, oh, man. And I called my wife and I said, you need to email that to me and you need to email it to somewhere in the station so I can print it. She sent it to my phone and I went, well, I can probably just use my phone and print it. I did all by myself. I was so proud.
Did you really?
I told my producer here, Phil Brown, I said, I'm such a big boy.
I was going to say that.
I just did it off my phone. Here I am, old and feeble, and figured it all out. He was so proud of me, too.
I'm telling you, I'm proud of you, too.
He was going to give me a lollipop, but he couldn't find one because I'd already sucked on all of them. But now we have have you ever wondered about this segment? That this is what happens when Alex can't sleep at night.
It's scary, folks.
Yeah,
it's scary.
This happens. You know how when you kind of wake up at 3 a.m. and you're laying there going, counting sheep, and you count and count, and then you run out of sheep, and you go, I might as well just get up.
I do that all the time.
And this happened to me the other night. So I was sitting there wondering, and I said, I wonder who invented the first nail.
No way.
I did. I thought this is a question that nobody has ever asked. I've never heard anybody ask this question.
Well, I have to ask you this. Did you know how to Google it?
I Googled it.
You Googled it. Look at you.
Like
you
a big
are
boy.
A big boy.
Like a big boy. I Googled it. It was fun. And there is actually history on the nail. Now, I'm not talking about fingernails. I'm talking about nails that go in wood. And it was quite interesting, actually.
So are you going to keep us in suspense and we're going to wait until that segment to find out the answer?
This is the segment, Barbara.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Incidentally, I'm almost over my cold from last week. I feel so much better. Last week, I was kind of a zombie.
You sound a lot better, too.
Thank you. I appreciate that because I've got to tell you, last week was a struggle. So anyway, the first nails were made out of wrought iron in 3400 BC. There was actually guys that used to pound them out of bronze. And they're referred to in the Bible. They are, the Romans left tons of them when they left, whatever they left, in the United Kingdom when they left after they destroyed it, whatever they did there. And they've gone from, they used to have wooden pegs when they didn't have nails. Like when they'd be at war, they'd use wooden pegs instead of nails. And I thought it was quite interesting because this is something, I know it sounds silly and you're thinking, this is dumb, Alex. Why are you talking about this? But these are little things that in my worldview makes or has made mankind grow.
Absolutely.
Silly little things like
Yeah.
that I look at and I go, man, when you start getting old, you do things like wonder about a nail. Or the other thing I did this week, which was really important,
Okay.
enough of nails, you turn coffee cans into birdhouses. That is a worthwhile project.
That is a worthwhile project.
And I did that this week because, did you like my nails?
I did like your nails.
Okay.
I think everybody probably enjoyed that tidbit.
I think everybody did, but I can't see anybody that's even on Facebook because I've got my little screen in the way, so I don't know if anybody's even following us. Let me see. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, there's a couple of people watching us on Facebook.
Oh, well, good.
And they're all going, enough of the nails, Alex. Okay, enough of the nails. So one of the things that I want to talk to you about, and we discussed briefly earlier before the show, is the kitchen and bath came out, the National Kitchen and Bath Association came out with design trends.
Yeah.
And this is why I love having Barbara here, because we've got so much to talk about with kitchen and bath design trends. We've got about a few minutes to talk about it. So they are telling us that 79, this is like a poll that they did during didn't they just recently have did they just have their deal?
They did. They had a big market.
A big market, right. Where was it? Do you know? Did you go?
No, I didn't go, and I'm sorry, but I don't remember.
It's not telling me here in this.
Yeah.
Okay. Farmhouse kitchens are the most popular. I guess I did a poll with 79% of the respondents saying it was trendy to very trendy. Mm-hmm. Do you agree with that? Is that still true?
You know, farmhouse kitchens have not really taken hold here in Dallas. One of the big things with farmhouse kitchens is that you don't really have a lot of upper cabinets. You have shelving that's open and you stack your dishes very neatly and so on.
So you can't hide anything.
You can't hide anything, and everything, has to look pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still doing traditional, when I say traditional, uppers and lowers in cabinets, not a traditional style, but definitely, more
So
uppers
I've
and
noticed
lowers.
in Dallas in particular that a lot of what I've been seeing tons of is real contemporary houses.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've always been a super traditional,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you call it, architecture. It's somewhere, but it's never since really the mid-century, the 50s and 60s, we did a lot of contemporary,
Right.
the mid-century modern. And then we went into this traditional style and craftsman style.
And it was heavy. The traditional was heavy. The colors were dark. There was stuff everywhere on all the tables, accessories.
And now
so
we've
on.
got these clean lines and these boxy square designs.
Yeah, and we're even in when we're redoing a house is very traditional on the outside. We're doing we're calling transitional. It's kind of a mix between traditional and contemporary
I
furniture.
wondered what you called that, seriously, because
Yeah,
I'm seeing that too,
transitional.
a transitional.
Yeah.
So it's a mix between both.
Yeah, and you can put some antiques in with it, but the colors are happier, the lines are straighter, cleaner, not a lot of accessories around.
So do you think that that people are tending to have less stuff?
I think so, and there is really psychology behind that. So they found that once the hotels started doing all these really clean bathrooms, spa-like, it's more relaxing. And they're saying that we are so connected now with the internet and our phones and just always being connected that when you come home, you just want to have a very restful atmosphere. Not a lot of stuff around, because when you have a lot of items around and it's cluttered, it makes you nervous, whether you realize it or not.
Very interesting.
So this whole trend started, and of course in Dallas we have a lot of influx from people from all over the country.
Sure.
California and out west were more kind of contemporary than we have been for a long time. It took Dallas a little while to catch up, but boy, it's on fire.
Boy, it is.
on
But
fire.
this contemporary look is what I'm seeing more and more of, and now I do see a blending of it with what I'm used to, and they're knocking down the traditional looking homes and putting up these, I call them boxes, but I don't mean that in a disparaging way.
I know exactly what you mean.
We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, more with my good friend Barbara Gilbert on Your Home with Alex Guthrie. Stay tuned. Okay, here we are. Okay, we can talk now. Talk to our friends on Facebook. Everybody needs to send me and Barbara a message. Okay.
All right.
We're good.
We're good.
We're good.
This went by pretty quick.
You know, like the little nail thing? It always looks good when I do it at 3 a.m, and I'm going, that's going to be really interesting and fun. And then when I do it on the radio, I'm like, that sucks.
I thought it was great. I thought it was really interesting.
It's like, that just doesn't work. Let's just stop that one right now.
Do we get a message saying that?
No.
Okay. Well, all right. I'm just wondering.
No, my friend Kathy Morris Hall and my little sister Mary are both watching. You girls need to send us a message. Don't just watch, play. Because you all can hear us now on Facebook. Everybody that's watching on Facebook, say hi to us. Okay, let's see. This is our 11:20 break. So we'll continue. We can do our emails. We'll do our emails after we do this interview. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't have anything really scheduled, hard scheduled. We'll do our emails when we come back. That'll fill.
I think that's a great idea, but I would love our Facebook people to send me some questions.
Yeah, do that.
Pick my brain. It's free. I'm here.
Send us questions. Email folks.
Yeah.
I mean, Facebook folks, send us questions. We need them. We need you. But we can continue on these trends. I love talking about that. It's really a lot of fun.
I like it too.
Yeah, I do. I have seen such a change. I don't know, and we'll talk about this. I really want to talk about it when we're back live, but I don't know who drives these trends. Is it the production builders? Do they just come out and they put all these design? Like I'm doing a project up in the Tribute right now, and I don't know if they're taking what people want and building it, or do they just build these?
Well, there's a lot of surveys that go out to the public, and I think a lot of the trends start with furnishings and colors. You know, a lot of it comes from fashion as well too. So
I just see the outside of the building.
Yes,
that's
exactly,
what I look at.
Exactly.
And you know it's hard to stop a train. So for
30
the best
seconds.
heating and air conditioning contractors in North Dallas and Plano for the past 60 years, call my friends at Total Air and Heat, 972-881-0020. That's 972-881-0020. Or visit them online at totalair.com. Total Air and Heat.
Welcome back to Your Home with Alex Guthrie. I'm here with my good friend, Mrs. Barbara Gilbert,
Hello, everyone.
the interior designer to call if you need your home design or assistance or whatever. Have you been to the new IKEA?
I have.
How do you like IKEA? You don't have to be nice.
You know, I think IKEA serves its purpose, but I think if you're looking for items that you really want to, stand the test of time,
Right.
That's not where you really want to shop.
I agree, 100%. I like just getting ideas.
Yeah, I do too.
I like going through there and just seeing how things were put together. I thought it was really interesting.
Speaking of put together, now I have a confession to make.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so with my office, when we moved in, I just wanted some plain cubbies, to put in front of a window, and I wanted to put baskets in them because I have a basket
And
for
you
each
went
one
to
of my
IKEA.
clients. We went to IKEA. So,
but you didn't tell it. You cut the tags off.
I cut the tags
Yeah, of
off.
course
Nobody
you did,
knows.
yeah.
Of course, now the secret's out. But I want to tell you that the furniture has to all be put together. It's not an easy
No,
task.
you have to read the instructions.
No, you have to hire someone to do it
Oh.
because that's what I did. I should have just called you.
Excuse me. I told some guys not long ago that if they were really good at what they were doing, they would use the French instructions, not the English instructions.
There you go.
I said, if you're really smart guys, you'll do it with the
They have
French.
better pictures.
Yeah. Well, that's all the guys look at anyway. you
I know it. I know.
Quartz tops are the trend for surfaces. So explain to me the difference between quartz
Okay.
and what is that quartz or granite?
Quartz is a man-made product. It actually has quartz in it. Quartz is the quartz itself, like there's quartzite with granite. It's kind of like a granite, but it's more like a marble. So they take the quartz from the ground and they mix it with a resin.
And so it's
And
all man-made.
So it's all man-made, and it's virtually indestructible.
Mhm.
You can set a hot pot on it. You can do whatever.
It
and you're
used
not
to
gonna
be
ruin it.
it used to be more expensive than a lot of the granites or most of the granites you'd commonly buy.
Yeah, and it just depends. There's people don't realize, but there's different grades of quartz, not like grades of granite, but there are certain companies that make a really good
Mhm.
quartz. There's more quartz in it, and others, skimp a little bit.
Well, it's a lot better than
But-
it used to be.
Oh,
It used to be
so much
like you
better.
had white and beige and black.
Exactly.
And now you've got some really beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, to look like the Calcutta marble,
mhm.
and we use it a lot.
And actually that trend is true in virtually all the products we're using now.
Absolutely.
And vinyl flooring is amazing. You may not like vinyl flooring, but the looks of it,
Yeah, I mean, it's really come a long way. We have it in our office. I wouldn't put it in a home.
well, no, but
yeah,
I mean, it's not.
You're right. You're right.
For a lot of people, for some situations,
Yeah.
it's a very a designer, a high end designer is
Right.
going to kind of get not
Right.
really go the vinyl direction. I understand, but for a lot of people, for certain situations, vinyl is a really good choice.
It is, and they have the wood look vinyl that has really come a long way. It's great.
You can hardly tell the
I think
difference.
we still have some on the floor right here.
We do, of course we do. Of course, we know that's not real wood.
But it looks good.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
it does.
it does.
And it's got a practical part to it from cost for a lot of people.
And easy to keep clean.
Yeah,
I mean, the maintenance
yeah.
is great.
And but still, you can't beat granite. You can't beat natural stone. I don't think it's ever going to go out of style.
No, it won't. And we combine the two in kitchens. So we're doing a house now. It's being built, and we really want a big wow factor for the island. Is 11 feet long.
That's huge.
Large islands are really, really in.
You could sleep two on that
You
thing.
could sleep two on that. I mean, you could have a bunch of people, workstation.
Are you using these big giant sinks?
We are. You know what we're doing? We're doing a 5-foot galley sink.
Get out
The
of
galley
here.
sink, yeah. That thing, if
That's
you've
a
not
bathtub.
seen it, I know, it's crazy. And it comes with, do you remember when we did the Eco House? We had one in there. So it comes with all of these tools that go along with it.
Right.
So there's a partition that you can put in it, and you fill your sink with ice, and you could keep shrimp cold on it, or you could use it for drinks. It's got a colander. It's got cutting boards. I mean, it almost does everything.
It's a gourmet.
It is a gourmet
kitchen.
It's a gourmet kitchen.
It turns that whole, so you
Yes.
could actually set a kitchen up where one side you could have, like if you were catering
Yep.
a party,
Sure.
you could service on one side of the island, cooking on the other side of the island or something, where
Absolutely.
you have flow.
Right. But we were talking about the granite. So we want this, we're going to waterfall it, which means the granite comes all the way down the sides to the floor. And we want a real wow factor. So we picked out a beautiful granite, and then the perimeter cabinets, we're going to do just the quartz.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So the
so-
island top is different than
Yep.
the perimeter.
We're
cabinets.
using a leathered, granite, and it should be very easy to maintain. And then the perimeter cabinets.
So there was a trend a few years ago, may still be, where you would do a different finish on some of the like you might do the island cabinet a different finish than the perimeter cabinets.
Right. And we are still doing that, but now we're doing uppers and lowers in different colors.
Awesome.
We just did a kitchen with white uppers and gray lowers.
When we come back, we'll have more with Barbara. Stay tuned to Your Home with Alex Guthrie. Okay. Good segment.
Thank you. You know me, I can just talk for hours about this stuff.
No, that's good. I'm going to get some water. Always having fun. More energy. You're doing more energy. Thank you. More energy. Feel better. I was sick last week.
I wanted to let Amy know that we're streaming this live. I don't know, either I forgot or you forgot to tell me. I don't know.
Okay, all you Facebook people, send us questions, all two of you.
Hello to both of you.
Last week we had a crowd.
Well, people are sleeping in because of the weather today. It's a little rainy.
They should be on their
drizzly,
computer
so,
and this thing's going, hey.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I don't know why I told him 11. Hopefully he'll call in a few minutes early. I'm just,
I
this,
know, you're still
and it's just, well, it comes and goes. It's really weird. And
I know.
I was at the doctor yesterday, and he was like, "God, you're so much better." I was, because I don't know. Have you had this yet?
Did I tell you about my husband?
No.
He got sick the Friday before New Year's. And I mean, he was not getting better. He went to the doctor. Doctor gave him Z-Pak. Didn't help. I finally had to take him to the emergency room. And they tested him for the flu and said it wasn't the flu, but I have never seen him so sick. And they gave him a steroid shot and then some steroids. Helped a little bit. They also gave him an IV and so on. But Alex, it took over a month. Over a month for him to get well.
Yeah, this has been 2 weeks for me.
Yeah.
And it hit me really hard last week, and it just lingers.
It does.
Choosing the right mortgage lender involves much more than just a rate. Quicken Loans has earned 11 J.D. Power Awards for client satisfaction. And we invented Rocket Mortgage, a simpler, hassle-free way to get a mortgage
Mike
completely
Chapman,
online.
thank you
no
so
one
much
else has
for
anything
joining
like
us.
it.
We're so glad
so
you're
choose
here
Quicken
today.
Loans, America's
Send me a
#1
wave
online
or
lender.
something.
Call Quicken
Or
Loans today at
wink.
800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Equal housing lender, NMLS number 3030.
When it comes to DIY, Alex Guthrie is your guy. What a bad rhyme. The phone lines are open at 214-810-TALK. That's 214-810-TALK. Relax your home with Alex Guthrie.
And welcome back to Your Home with Alex Guthrie. Well, my friend Barbara and I were just talking about things you do in the kitchen other than cook.
That's right.
And in a few minutes, we're going to be joined by Bill, and we're going to talk about retractable screens. And I asked him to call in at 11:35, which is about a minute too late. That's my bad. But at any rate, we were talking about kind of trends in kitchens, and one of the things that this survey is talking about is undermount sinks. Do you do? I've noticed lately with these really big sinks, I'm doing a lot more sit down, overmount sinks than I was. But we used to do a lot of them because in the old days, of course, we tiled the tops,
Right.
which we don't that much anymore.
Yeah. Definitely undermount sinks, and even single bowl sinks have become popular again. There's
in the kitchen.
Yeah, in the kitchen. There's a sink now that people love. It's a granite composite sink. So, and it comes in some great colors, but it's got granite in it, and it's virtually indestructible. It doesn't scratch. It doesn't stain.
A granite composite
sink, yeah.
Is it all the same material?
It's all the same material. You can buy it in white, beige, gray, browns, but yeah, and they do have them where they're a dual bowl sink, and you can select sizes and so on. But it's a fabulous thing.
So when you have a single bowl sink, do you have the disposer in the center of it, or would you have that off to one side?
You can do it either way, whatever you prefer.
What would someone prefer? Where if you like we like to soak, like we like to have one side maybe soaking,
right,
and the other side not.
Right.
How does that work if you have just one big single bowl, or do you just not do that?
You just don't do it.
So does anybody hand wash dishes anymore?
Not that I know of.
I mean, I do.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I mean, we'll sometimes rinse something out.
I hate dishwashers. I hate them.
Do you really? You know what I love about the dishwasher? I know that everything is sterilized.
Sterilized.
Well, come on.
You need to go to a deer lease for a few days.
My husband does that.
Well,
I know.
Sterilization is way overrated, man. You can eat right off the dirt if you want.
I'll bet you don't use this antibiotic soap or anything either, do you,
what?
Alex?
What's that? I've been sick for 2 weeks. Who needs that stuff? Hey, I lived. No, I because it's just my wife and I, right?
Yeah.
There's just two of us.
Just my husband and I.
And so I keep going, why don't we get rid of all the plates but two? That's all we need. Just do 2 plates, use it, wash it, put it in 2 forks.
And then what are you going to do if you have company?
Don't
paper plate?
Don't invite them. Tell them to bring bring your own plates.
Yeah.
Bring your own plates.
Well, you could do the same thing with the silverware then. Why, and glasses? Why?
Plastic.
Yeah.
Hey, that stuff looks real.
Some of it does. I'd like to hear from some of our Facebook people.
I'm sure somebody has. I'm sure
they actually use the dishwasher or not.
Has some really good ideas about that. But no, the problem is by the time we get the dishwasher full, it's 3 or 4 days or a week, or you have to run it.
I don't understand. Do you eat out a lot? Oh. We run ours like at least every 2 days.
Really?
I mean, if you eat breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Well, I think the problem at my house is that I get bored and I clean the dishes.
Oh.
So I'll just go.
I thought maybe you're just eating out of chip bags and that kind of thing.
No. My wife eats out of the chip bag because that's all. I'm here. Dinner's ready.
Have some dip too.
Here's the bean dip.
There you go.
No, we just don't. as you kind of, the house gets empty, you don't cook as much either. I don't think. I mean, we don't. Or you order out. Maybe we just order out more.
Maybe so.
But white and gray are still the most popular colors for kitchens, while blue, 52%, and black, 41%, and beige, 40% follow. Is that true?
Yeah. I would say it's right on. We're doing, so I mentioned earlier, we're doing a lot of cabinet uppers in one color and then the lowers in another color. But it's white and gray is really what people want. And then blue. And I'll tell you what's coming back now, big time, is black.
Really?
We're seeing some black tile. We're seeing black plumbing fixtures. Black is really coming in pretty strong. I don't know how long it will last.
Just did a bathroom and we did dark colors. And it is, dark. To a guy, guys don't care about colors so much, To me, it's easier to dark colors. A guy thinks about cars, right?
Right.
So it's like,
and deer leases,
honey,
and that kind of thing.
Honey, what color do you want your bathroom? Well, I don't know. My Chevy's white. Yeah, that'll work. White's fine. It's easier to keep my Chevy clean because it's white. Let's do it in white. That's kind of how guys think. But this guy that I did the bathroom for, he wanted it dark in 3 different colors dark. It was pretty. I was like, wow.
Did you like it?
Luckily, well, I mean, I'm fine with it if he's fine with it. I'm just the contractor. I don't really care. But it looks fine. It looks okay. To me, dark colors, from my perspective as the contractor, dark colors are not forgiving. And so you have to be really careful with when you're initially doing it, when you're building it. I love light colors because if there's a flaw somewhere, it doesn't show up as bad. And I don't mean that to sound like I put things together that aren't perfect, but things aren't always perfect.
Right.
And so when you do dark colors, it's going to cost a little more to the customer because we're going to have to maybe put an extra coat of paint on it or do a little extra prep work, because when we get finished, where we wouldn't normally see a tiny little flaw, with that dark color, we will.
Well, it's true. Even with the texture on the walls,
Exactly.
You paint something dark, you notice that more. The other thing about dark colors, too, is that dark colors make a room look smaller.
They sure do.
Whether it's cabinets or whatever, something light will reflect the light, and the dark colors make the room kind of recede.
We used to, way back in the day, use hard, shiny lacquer on walls.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time when we were doing that. It was a trend.
Oh.
It was a nightmare.
It is a nightmare. But, talking about walls, people now want level 4 and level 5. No, no mud on it at all. No texture at all.
Right.
Yeah. And they want it smooth as glass.
And it's hard. It's a hard thing to do, and it's a hard thing to maintain over time because you don't have a perfect structure.
It's expensive too, Alex.
Yeah,
I mean,
is.
I can't believe what it adds the cost to a new home.
Right, sure. There's a whole lot more prep that has to go on, and you've got to have a person in there doing it that understands what they're doing. Yeah. I walk into new houses now, and I'm surprised at the lack of quality.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not trying to be critical of the guys doing it, but the guys doing it aren't trained properly. And the guys supervising it aren't making them do it right.
Right.
And I just catch it. Hey, I've got a few emails this week, and I think one of them that I wanted to read came from Shannon. Because last week I was giving out some information, and Shannon was a little bit perturbed with me, and I don't blame her because last week I just wasn't quite with it. And I gave out information on a device called a Upspring 911, and it is basically a little solar-powered emergency radio.
Oh.
But it also it's a radio and a flashlight, and it's got a little charger for your phone where you plug your phone in. It's got a little USB plug in, and
That's awesome.
it's a little emergency thing
Yeah.
that you would keep in your car or in your closet.
I need one of those.
Yeah, everybody should have one. It's
Yeah.
got a little crank on it too.
Oh, and what
So-
does a crank do?
Well, gives it a little charge.
Oh, I see. You have to crank it. Okay.
So if you were like listening for emergency weather information, you would kind of crank it,
Okay.
you know. And so I didn't do a really good job of giving out the information on where to buy it. I still don't really know what they cost because I looked it up on the website and they don't give information about the cost. I don't think they're very expensive. But Shannon, here's the email says, please give us the information on the emergency radio you were talking about last week. Thanks, Shannon. P.S. Love your show. And I love you, Shannon. Thank you for saying that. It's called an Upspring, UPSPRING 911. And the website is www.buyupspring911.com. And there's a little note here that I wrote at 3 o'clock in the morning. Everyone should have one of these in your car or house. Or
So can we put that information on your Facebook page?
I will do that. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
I will do that.
Okay.
I will do that. It's a great idea. I have another email, and this is something that I think Miss Barbara can help Carla P. out.
I'm happy to.
Alex, my husband and I are arguing over what color to paint the bathroom. He wants the woodwork dark, and I want it light. I want wallpaper. He hates wallpaper and says it's old-fashioned. Help! Thanks for the show, Carla P.
This is a universal problem, Carla. It's not just unique to you. So I have a system that I do with my clients. Whenever we're designing for a husband and wife or whatever, we use a 1 to 10 system. 10, I absolutely hate it. 1, I love it. So if there's a color that one of them doesn't like, I say, okay, where are you on the scale? And if they say a 7 or an 8, then we know it needs to be reselected. But if they're at a 2 or a 3, then we can go with it. So that's what we do. We kind of scale everything on that scale. And if maybe you could find something in the middle.
That's a
great
system. I love the idea of that.
Yeah, and I do that initially when we meet with the clients and they're signing the letter of agreement. We go over this because there's got to be a place for compromise.
Mm-hmm. So you see, I make them draw straws.
That would probably be easier.
And then we set up one of those little plastic pools.
Yeah.
And we fill it with Jello, and they have Jello wrestling in the middle, and whoever wins, they get their color.
The problem is I don't want my office getting messed up like that. But that system actually works, because then we say, okay, we need a compromise.
So everybody picks their highest priority on the scale.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of average it out.
Well, and if you and I are saying, you love that color and you're at a 1 or a 2, but I'm at a 5 or a 6. Like, I don't like it, but I don't love it. Well, maybe that's a place to compromise.
I think that's awesome.
Right? And then we say, okay,
so
let's
did you
compromise.
teach 5th grade at one time in your life or something?
No, but
But you had kids.
I have kids. Yes,
Okay.
and grandkids.
Okay. So I know where that came from. Because sometimes dealing with our clients, it's kind of like dealing with kids.
I agree.
What about wallpaper?
Wallpaper is back with a vengeance.
Is it really?
Oh my gosh, we are using so much wallpaper. It's different than what you're thinking about in the 80s or your grandma's home or whatever. A lot of it has texture to it, a little bit of sparkle. Grass cloth is back.
Uh-huh.
We took down so much grass cloth and now it's back with a vengeance.
What about wallpaper hangers? Are they hard to find?
They are hard to find. We have a really, really good one.
It seems like it's a lost art.
Yeah. A lot of the wallpaper mills went out of business, and it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you're going to put up wallpaper, it's expensive because the prep work is very expensive and the wallpaper itself.
What are
expensive.
the do's and don'ts with wallpaper? Give me a couple of do's, a couple of don'ts. As far as like the type of, we used to do a whole lot of the foil type wallpaper.
Yeah, we're not really doing foil, but I would say make sure that your walls are really, really smooth because it'll show every single imperfection. And then, with wallpaper, if you want to do an accent wall, you can go a little crazy with color. Because we're doing a lot of it behind beds. We're definitely putting it in powder rooms, entry halls.
Are there a lot of new designs that are a lot more friendly?
Oh, yeah.
A lot more fun?
Oh, yeah. Very fun. Geometric prints. And there's some for traditional, too, though.
We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk more about designing your home with my most wonderful friend, expert, Barbara Gilbert. You're listening to Your Home with Alex Guthrie. Stay tuned.
Great.
Awesome. Awesomeness.
So every time you look out your windows, the world looks a little.
Wow. You don't sound too good.
I'm fine.
Are you taking any Mucinex?
I did, but my doctor put me on Claritin.
When do you change your personnel?
We need to change personnel.
Are you know when do you
When we switch over hour.
next hour?
Mhm.
Great to see you. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
This
David
is John
I'm
David
Barbara
Wells.
Gilbert. Nice
I'm
to
the
meet
GM
you.
here. And
Hey, gentlemen.
and you're sounding great.
Thank you.
Keep after it.
I will do it, sir.
Fun.
It is fun.
Isn't this fun?
Yeah.
I think what I'm going to have to do with them is because they're kind of like two different things of the same thing, and we'll just have one of them do his.
First half hour and then one in the second half hour.
Well, we'll probably just do probably do both of them in the same segment. We're not going to do a whole hour with them, I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think they
Well,
have
then
that much.
take that chair
Mhm.
and put the other one over here.
Okay.
Okay, and we can then back this up.
Mhm.
We back this up and get a 3-shot. You'll have to squeeze in a little bit.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I'll just have one of them on the mic at a time. She's going to stay, so I'll just have one of them on the mic at a time. That's all I was planning on
Oh.
doing. Yeah,
Okay.
she's staying.
Well, let me go ahead and set it up then. Yeah, wait a minute. Let me go ahead and set it up then. And these are mine, so I need to get these out of here.
I'm so glad I left these here
I am too.
because I was looking for them this morning.
I should have called you, but they actually got pressed into service a couple of times.
Well, that's good. I'm glad someone was here. You want me to use number
Yeah, just
tres?
whichever one.
Tres?
Yes, because one's dead. I've got to get another one of those. Actually, I need 2 more. I need to get 2 more of those because they keep breaking.
Well, that's just awful. We're having fun.
Are we still streaming live?
Yeah.
Oh, great. I just put my lipstick on.
It's
and-
Oh, good.
a train, and it's hard to stop a train. So for the best heating,
You
and
know,
air
the fun
conditioning
part of it's
contractors in
always
North
the
Dallas
outtakes.
and Plano for the past 60
Okay.
years. Call my friends at Total Air and Heat,
We have a
972-881-0020.
few minutes, and then we go to the
That's
top of the hour.
972-881-0020. Or visit them online at totalair.com. Total Air and Heat.
Welcome back to Your Home with Alex Guthrie. I have one more email. I think we can get in here real quick. This is from Paul.
Okay.
You know, men have problems too.
Well, of course.
I mean,
of
when it comes
course.
to the home, I know we just don't always have all the answers. We try.
You think you do.
We're
though.
supposed
You
to.
think you do.
We're dependent on. Especially when it comes to windows and doors and manly things.
There you
You know,
go.
roofs, windows, doors, plumbing. We're
Air conditioning.
air conditioning. We're supposed to know these things, but we just don't. Alex, my wife and I are going to replace our bay window in the rear of our house and can't decide whether or not to go with grids or not. Grids can be very confusing. The rest of the windows have grids, but they're getting old and will need to be replaced in the next few years. We can't afford to replace all the windows at once. What is your recommendation? So, I run into this a lot these days because I'm not crazy about grids on windows anymore because they block the view.
They do.
I agree. Limit your design options, really.
Yeah.
And nowadays, when you have a house and you've got thousands of dollars of landscaping that's beautiful, or a swimming pool or whatever it is you have on the outside, you want to see it. And you want to, and I'm sure you do this with your design. I know that I do this when I'm advising people. That becomes that window is framing, it's like a picture, framing a picture inside the house. So you want to bring that look in as part of the design inside the house. Get rid of the grids is always my recommendation. Just don't have them. Does it bother you if a house has a window or two without grids and then other windows with them?
I think if it's in the front of the house, then they should all be consistent.
Okay.
They should match. If it's in the back of the house or the side of the house, who cares?
Right.
But the front of the house, for aesthetics, yes.
So we're doing what I've told people in the past, like this guy, Paul. Thanks for writing me, Paul. I appreciate it very much. This guy has a house, and your house has, let's just say, 4 sides, northeast, south, and west. Northeast, north, south, east, and west.
Okay.
That's
4. That's 4. You got it.
On our planet, there's 4 directions.
You got it.
Only still.
What kind of medication are you taking, Alex?
We must have fun. And I will tell them, if you don't have the budget to replace all the windows, pick a side.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, if you pick a good brand of windows, and particularly a brand that's been around for a long time, then you can come back in 2 years and get that same brand of windows and match it and do the other side.
That's really a good idea. And I would suggest starting with the west side.
That's a great idea.
Because of all the sun. The windows they have out today are so much more energy efficient that probably, would really help with the savings.
It does, and comfort.
Energy. Yeah, comfort.
And it just kind of depends, because sometimes you're replacing them because you have to.
Right.
And you always, obviously, when you're working on your house, you always want to upgrade. You're not doing it to make a lateral move necessary. Sometimes you are, if you have to. But usually you're doing it to upgrade, and you should be doing it to upgrade. So that my suggestion to Paul is that you would go ahead and not worry about the grids, particularly a big old bay window that looks out the backyard, and you want to see more of what you're paying for back there.
I agree with that totally.
Okay. All right, that's the emails, and I have a couple more. I was going to one of the other trends that they were talking about was wall-mounted flat screens. So I'm going to talk about our next guest about that with our next guest. But here's something that was trending in kitchens, and I'm not sure how much it's taken off. The 2 things: induction and steam cooking.
Oh, 2 of my favorite things.
I love induction.
Induction's amazing. We did a remodel.
So let's explain what induction is.
So induction, you have to have certain types of pots and pans for that, because it works through magnets.
So induction is a heating element.
Right. And it's got a flat top.
Like an electric burner.
Exactly. But you can boil water in about 18 seconds.
Right.
The great thing about induction is that it doesn't get hot. The top the cooktop really doesn't get hot. And you can put down, say you want to fry bacon or fry chicken or do something like that, you can actually put newspaper or a silicone pad on it to keep it clean while you're cooking, and it'll cook right through that.
And it doesn't burn the paper.
No, yeah.
Right.
No, it doesn't burn anything.
It just goes
Yeah.
right through. Now, I've never tried that. I use induction.
Oh, you
I
do?
just have the little single burners, and I love that thing.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break. Going to get some news in. We're going to make some money.
Yay.
And we're going to be back after that with more of Your Home with Alex Guthrie. So don't go away. We'll be back.
Talking about the induction,
Mm-hmm.
they don't make them in large sizes.
No.
So that's the bad thing. If somebody, wants to replace a, 48-inch cooktop or larger, you can't get them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think that they are working on that, though.
All right. That's a good hour.
Yeah.
Quick hour.
It went by very quickly.
But we have a lot of good energy together.
Yeah, we do.
We're rocking it.
So do we have another person that's come on Facebook?
We do. Chris Miles.
Oh, it's Chris
I
Miles?
don't know if I am watching this live right now. You see?
Is it Chris?
Yes, I see it, you big dope.
Hi, Chris.
Do you hear us, Chris? Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey, Alex.
Hi.
How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Hey, man, long time no see.
Why don't you grab a chair? Here's what I'm going to do. Since we're doing the inside and outside, let's just do one of you and then do the other one.
Okay.
Will that be all right?
Well, that's what we're going to talk to you about. Is we're going to focus mainly on Seagull.
Okay.
It's weatherproof TVs.
Okay.
I was supposed to call you last night.
You were supposed to call me. Yeah, you should have.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
you can sit in. That's fine. You can sit in his lap. I don't care.
Would you like to sit there?
No. Well,
No,
we'll just
you're gonna- yeah.
Oh, okay.
we'll just let him sit
Yeah,
over
right,
here.
Yeah. and
Do you want me to-
the headphone.
Okay, so
Scoot over.
Do we have another set of cans?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can. Yeah, I've got it.
Come on over, man.
Come on over here, Franklin. You didn't call me last night.
Yeah, you're right. We're done.
Y'all just have to share
No, we'll make it work.
right here, and you got to make sure you get right up on here when we're
So
sharing.
6 inches or so.
Yeah, 6 inches. So you just want to talk about your outside TVs?
Primarily, I don't know how much time it's going to take
Okay.
to cover that.
How much time do we have? About 45 minutes total with commercials?
Not
and
if we're
everything?
just talking about TVs.
Well, that is not gonna work.
I mean, we're not going to be able to get 45. Yeah. It's a good thing.
Well, yours, you don't have any.
Yeah, go ahead and pull my hair all you want.
Don't
Don't.
get it for you.
Well, there's only one.
No, there's only one.
Yeah, that one doesn't.
That one doesn't work.
So,
I don't know what to do with that, buddy.
Is there a way you can break it up into like a segment, like one
yeah.
one of you
whatever
do
don't
like one
have-
part of it and then switch, and the other one of you do the other part?
Well, we're going to do a little back and
Yeah,
forth,
I mean,
but
yeah, I mean, you'll be able to hear one another. so
Yeah,
you
you'll
don't
be
really
able to
need
hear. You
that.
don't even really need a.
It's not like you. It's not like we're gonna have anything that's coming down.
Yeah. Let's just.
we'll just go without the cans altogether.
Yeah.
All right.
You can put them on.
I can hear me.
We'll see what this
Huh?
sounds like.
we're gonna reposition.
I'll try to use my best radio.
Okay. As long as we're getting Barbara, because she's the only one that looks like she should be on camera.
Yeah, you want my ugly mug.
Huh?
Thank you, Alan.
Otherwise, it kind of looks like a jailbreak. Huh? I'm sorry.
That's
This
me.
is Barbara
I'm Barbara
Gilbert.
Gilbert.
This is Frank
Nice
Boyd.
meeting you.
Rick Webster.
I'm an interior designer.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
It looks like a bunch of guys that broke out of prison in here. Like, what's that show? Prison Break?
Prison Break, exactly. Test. You do have to get pretty close, Frank, when it's time to talk.
So, like that?
Yeah, like a rock and roll star, like you're the backup singer. You just lean in and...
Okay. Yeah, don't be afraid to grab it and just get on after.
Yeah, don't move it. Just leave it right there.
Right there.
You boys get on in there.
All right, we'll get real comfortable.
So there's our talk track if you want.
You got the questions that I submitted, right?
Which one?
Chris said hello, Barbara.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Well,
Chris Miles?
Chris was
I don't know if this is helpful or not.
Chris, we need to get together for lunch
Frank is
soon.
and what I do.
Chris was yelling at me a couple of weeks ago because he couldn't see the guest, you know.
Oh.
Well, he was. I'm telling on you, Chris. He was watching the previous week's show on video.
Oh no.
Your home is your
Texting back
castle.
and forth right now?
Whether you need a
Listening?
phone or just great advice.
What's that?
So is he
Your
texting
home.
back
Yeah,
Alex
he's
Guthrie.
watching us live.
right now?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Chris.
Who is?
Chris Miles.
I don't know who Chris is.
He's from the HBA, DBA.
Chris is my old partner. Hey, we're back. We're back with You're Home with Alex Guthrie. Sorry, guys, we're in here chatting. I wasn't keeping up. Welcome back. We're here with my good friend Frank Boyd. He is the CEO of Boyd on a Wire. And boy, he put a long paragraph in here that I'm just not going to read. Why don't you tell us? And Rick,
That's the Alex I remember.
yeah, yeah, I remember Frank. That's all I can tell you. And Rick Webster and Rick and Frank work together, and
That's right.
and you guys have an outdoor product, and of course Barbara's still here with us. Everybody,
I'm still here. Last but not least.
So you guys wanted to tell us about your all-weather outdoor entertainment system or TV or what is it? Seal
Yeah,
Lock?
Something like that. Yeah, Sea-Lock is actually the manufacturer of the world's finest outdoor and weatherproof TVs, entertainment systems, and remote control systems.
And
Well-
so you're doing, this is just a product that that you put out on like if you're going to have a patio.
Correct.
So instead of building a waterproof box around it anymore, this is something that you can actually just leave out in the weather.
Exactly right.
Put it on top of the fireplace.
Exactly, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. We'll get into the details of it a little bit later, but that's the basic premise of it is instead of having to buy a big ugly TV in a box, you actually have a TV that looks like a regular TV, but it's actually weatherproof.
So how? So it's not susceptible to the lightning and power surges and all that kind of stuff that that's a big problem that we used to have with them.
Oh, I know. Down in
Yeah,
the Preston Hollow area has a lot of brownouts and power
Right.
So from a power perspective, you still have to protect that with a surge protector
Okay.
or power conditioner
Okay.
or UPS battery backup, anything like that to limit that spike from making it to your equipment because pretty much everything electronic is susceptible to spikes. And even blackouts are the worst, but brownouts, when you don't even know you lost power, say it goes down to 90 volts and come back up to 110, you might notice a fluctuation in your light power, but that does terrible things to the lifespan of electronics.
Sure.
So UPSs and surge protectors are really
And surge
beneficial.
protectors do a lot more than just protect from surge. It kind of evens out the current going to your electronics and extends the life of electronics. It's a subtle little thing that happens that people don't really know. And we do whole house surge protection,
Right.
and that actually helps for everything.
Right.
With all these computers, TVs, everything now is digital, and everything is a lot more susceptible. You know, they're not these big old gnarly motors like we used to have that you could drop in the water and then plug them back in.
Right.
You got to protect them now.
That's exactly right.
That's exactly like. So, Rick, you do you primarily do the seal lock product?
That's exactly right. So over at Boyd on a Wire, there's actually two companies that we have. So Frank, as you know, and have known for many years, runs an AV company. He's also the CEO of C-Lock, Texas, and I'm the president of C-Lock, Texas. And we focus almost exclusively on outdoor entertainment that is weatherproofed or weather resistant. And we'll talk about this in a little bit. We're actually starting to expand in other areas as well, like treating electronics, sensitive electronics. Yeah.
So I wanted to talk a whole lot about the indoor, what's going on the indoor electronics as well, because there's a lot of new, particularly with all these new houses being built, but there's a lot of stuff going on with older homes that are trying to integrate into newer systems. And I get a lot of calls from people that are saying, well, I've got this TV that I spent a ton of money on 10 years ago, or I've got 3 TVs that I spent a ton of money on 10 years ago, and I'm trying to make them work with a new system.
Right.
And now the old ones had they had the little red eye and the little laser
IR
thing,
remote.
the IRs and all that kind of stuff. Has that stuff changed?
Wow, that's a big can of worms there. There are some things that you can put adapters in and video scalers in to send a new modern high-def picture signal to a display. But at some point, there's kind of a point of diminishing returns whereby the cost of the adapter and the image that you receive is not going to give you a realistic return on your investment. So at that point...
Okay, so what you're telling me is I need to buy a new TV.
Unfortunately, we have migrated and evolved into the world of disposable TVs, unfortunately.
Frank, you're so nice. That was a really nice way of saying, Alex, buy a new TV. So if honestly, new TVs are a lot less expensive.
It's ridiculous how cheap they are.
And so when you're running into an old system versus a new system, so let's say that I've got, and I have this in my house, I've got a stack of remotes because I've got a cable and I have a TV and I've got Roku,
maybe a DVD player.
I don't even have that anymore. Who uses a DVD player, man?
Hey, Alex,
I don't need a
we're
DVD.
talking about you, right?
No. I've got
It's VHS.
I've got a VCR, dude.
There you go.
It's still flashing 12, right?
I still have my tapes from the 80s.
You realize the young people today don't even know what VCRs are.
Yeah, I
Think
do.
about that.
I don't have any. We threw them away. We got rid of them. We don't watch them. Who needs a VCR? That's like having a DVD in your car. Who needs that?
So yeah, we do have a large percentage of our customer base that really appreciates those universal remotes. So it's pretty much a given that we'll put at least one up to 3 or 4 universal remotes throughout the house.
Can I get a universal remote that would take care of all 3 of those things for me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
relatively inexpensive. And
so I don't have to go through, like in the old days when I had to hit 4 buttons to make it watch one movie.
Right. You hit play TV, everything comes on, it goes to the right source, it gets in sync if you have surround sound, then you're sending your audio command to your AV receiver, your change channel command to your cable box, and if you want to do anything with the TV, it'll send that command to the TV. So one remote, all the buttons stay in the same place. So you learn finger memory. You don't even have to look at it after a while. You know where the volume up and down is, the channel up and down.
They'll label it for you.
Forget about the finger memory.
They're all labeled, but
labeled.
eventually you won't have to look at it.
You're assuming I've got any memory, and my finger memory. That's hilarious. Thanks, Frank.
So I have a question. I've seen this Samsung TV. A lot of my clients now are taking out the old TV cabinet that was to either the left or the right of the fireplace, and they're putting their TV on the fireplace.
Right.
So Samsung has a TV that actually looks like framed artwork.
Mhm.
So can you tell us a little bit about that? Because that's really amazing.
It is really cool. The technology that's gone into it, they've seen the need to migrate past just the image that's being reproduced from the screen to what it looks like when it's off. So there's multiple options. There used to be a company that, or probably still is, a company that actually makes a cover with a piece of artwork that you can choose that rolls down over your TV
I've used
when
that
it's
before.
off.
But this Samsung TV, you can upload any artwork you want. It could be of your children.
A Picasso?
You can go,
It's like a
you can do-
screensaver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when the TV, when you're not playing the TV, it looks like you have a piece of artwork over your fireplace.
So like when my wife walks in the living room, I could have a portrait of me staring at her.
You could. You
That'd
could.
be great, man. That would be awesome.
She'd keep the TV on all day.
No, she would. She would ruin it.
Another really cool technology that's come out is for people that have relatively high mantles and relatively narrow living rooms where you have a really bad neck angle.
Yeah.
They have a TV mount that you can actually, with about 2 fingers, pull it out and it comes out
I've seen
and
that
down
too. I've seen that
about
too.
2 feet.
Yeah.
And when you bring the TV 2 feet closer, it looks significantly larger.
Yeah.
So you can go with a 55 or 60 inch or even a 65, and by the
Amazing.
time you lower it down. And another thing,
A 65-inch TV isn't big.
it depends on the size of if it's a great room, then
So you're like
it's okay.
telling me you can make it look bigger. So if you're just like going with only a 65-inch TV, you can make it look bigger. Did you hear what you just said?
Yeah.
But it's true.
Well, you know,
People are doing, yeah.
reading glasses. You don't
No
need them
wonder
anymore.
none of us can see the red light while we're driving.
And what's really cool is on the handle on that
It's
mount,
your fault.
It's
Frank.
temperature
It's your
sensitive.
guys. It's you guys. It's your all's fault.
And I wish.
Is it heavy to bring up and down?
No,
Or,
you can do it with 2 fingers and
Really?
a thumb. So it's very
I've seen pictures of that.
lightweight friendly, but the handle is actually temperature sensitive. So it's a dark purple, but when your fireplace is running and it starts getting hot, it changes to pink to let you know either move the TV up or turn the fireplace
Really?
off.
And this is like a device that's on the wall.
It's the mantle mount is what it's called.
Huh.
And actually there's a little handlebar below the TV that you grab and it rotates down.
Wow. Wow, that's
Awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
So,
And how big
Yeah.
and how big of a screen can you put on that?
75 probably.
75.
I don't know if it'll go bigger.
Now, you have to have a really big room for that, right? For a 75-inch
Some
screen.
people have.
I mean,
big
how
rooms.
close do you want to? Well, I'm just an old country boy. I can only get such.
Alex,
so,
this is Texas.
yeah, but
Everything is big
how
in
big a
Texas.
TV can you put in a mobile home? I mean, I can't. I get too close to the TV.
We'll get you one of those rear projections.
Rear projection.
They're
Well,
hard to kill, man.
I'd have to watch it outside. I have to watch it from my neighbor's deck. No, I seriously, I put one that was too big in, and it, if I get too close, it bothers. It's too close.
Right.
It's too big.
Yeah, you have to make sure that your peripheral, you don't want to have to turn your head to see the whole screen.
Right.
So when we're sizing screens for home theaters, for instance, we need to know how far the first row of seats is.
And is there a rule?
There's a calculator.
What do you recommend? Like your first row from a,
At least
theater
10 feet
protection?
back.
Yeah.
And you measure from the head,
Right.
not from the feet.
Right.
How about height wise? You don't want to have your.
Right.
I mean, you don't
Your
want to
eye
be
level-
tilted back all the time.
Your eye level shouldn't be any higher than a third of the way through the screen
A third of the way. Okay.
on media rooms. Or
And just an
cinemas.
FYI, we have furniture now that we can put on stilts for media room. So the media seating.
Mhm.
So if you don't have a platform and you want to raise the back row, we just raise it up like on a still.
So we don't have to build platforms
right,
anymore.
right.
So do they vibrate?
You can get them to vibrate. They have pillows. I mean,
Yep.
Alex, in
I
this day and
remember
age,
those.
if you have money,
Man,
if you've got money, you can have anything you want.
I want the massage chair, the magic finger chair, and I mean, why not?
thought you were talking about the ones with the butt kickers. They actually vibrate when the subwoofer.
Yeah, that
goes
too.
off.
there you go.
That too.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe the magic fingers and the whatever. Okay. So now you're out. You're. Let's talk about your Seal Lock outdoor. Is it an entertainment system or is it just the TV or?
Yeah, great question. So it is a system. We offer a number of different components to really take kind of that home theater experience outdoors, rain or shine. So we have TVs that range from 28 inches in size all the way to 75 inches in size, and they come in two different series. There's our weather resistant series that we call our Lanai series, and those are meant to go undercover. So in a high humidity environment, maybe salt air next to the ocean, those types of things that's not exposed to direct rain.
We'll talk about that when we come back. We're going to have to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk more outdoor TVs and indoor TVs with Frank and Rick and Barbara. More of Your Home with Alex Guthrie in a few.
Is that Chris doing all that writing?
Yeah.
What's he saying?
He's just bored. Chris, you're bored. I'm glad you're in your truck where you can't write anymore.
Nice, Chris. Looks like we have a few other people that joined.
Were you going to read all that, Frank?
No, I'm the shaded part. Although we did hear about Witherspoon Distilleries.
You almost got there, but Alex wasn't going to have that.
That was a little arm behind the back moment.
But if you want to, if you want to be a sponsor, I'll read it for you.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll do one. Just put that headset on. You'll hear one going right now.
I got like $4.
So how are you guys getting a lot of business in the new home market?
Yeah, it's everywhere from new home development, especially on his side, obviously, and for ours as well. Certainly outdoor patio builders, pool builders, those types of things. Now that people realize that there's options in the market for outdoor TVs, it's really been doing well for us.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Do you work with any particular builders? I mean, that use you over and over again?
Yeah, we're starting to create relationships with Drees,
Custom home builders.
some other local custom home builders as well, and we're starting to increase our footprint from a sales
You'll
perspective.
have to give me a card because we do a lot of.
Hey, Steve, thanks for joining, buddy. It's glad to have you here. Thanks, Mike. Good to see you, Mike.
You doing something okay so far?
Frank, you're awesome. Yeah, you do. You look great, buddy. It's good to see you. Last time I saw you, you didn't have all that gray hair, though.
I think last time I saw you, you had some hair.
I hope not. I hate hair. Hair sucks. I got rid of mine as fast as I could.
You and me both, brother.
Who needs
So
hair?
your next flight,
Nothing
let
but
one of our
trouble.
SmartFares
If I were a
expert
man,
travel
I would
agents
shave my
find
head.
ridiculously low prices for you.
Because
Call SmartFares today
men
and get the
with
best
shaved
price
heads
on
are
your next
sexy,
flight.
right?
Guaranteed.
Absolutely.
Also, save up to
That was my
50%
thought.
off business and
Absolutely.
first class tickets.
800-871-3291. 800-871-3291. Again, that's 800-871-3291.
Welcome back to Your Home with Alex Guthrie. I'm here with my good friend Barbara Gilbert, co-hosting with me today. I'm so glad to have you here
I'm
today.
glad to be here. This has been so much fun.
It has been a
It is
lot of
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
And we finally got Frank and Rick here, so we got someone to pick on.
I know.
So much.
You're doing a
fun.
good job of that,
I
too.
love the low-hanging fruit.
I'm an easy target.
Okay. Oh, Frank and I have been friends for many years, and I picked on him the whole time.
And he still likes you, huh?
He's still talking to me every
Still
time.
haven't gone fishing yet, though.
Yeah, right. Well, hey, I'm doing radio these days, so the fish are safe. They're safe usually anyway when I'm fishing. So, Rick, we were talking about outdoor TVs and weatherproof TVs, and in the old days, we would we'd find all kinds of ways we build big fancy boxes and put the TVs in them, and basically what we were building was big places for bird nests and beehives and rats and stuff like that, and then buy a cheap TV and put it in there because it was going to be getting replaced the next fall or whatever. And it's almost always just a place for dad to put a TV for college football season. That's generally what I put them in there for. But now outdoor living areas are really an extension of the house.
They are, for sure.
Yeah. So do you get a lot of your clients, do you do furniture for outdoor?
Absolutely.
Because it's not just folding chairs.
Absolutely. And we actually help design the space, as far as the outdoor kitchen, fireplace, and, all of that. But yeah, it's like living room furniture. Right.
So when you do your system, you're doing like a sound system. You're not just sticking an old Sony, the old Sony TV that we're upgrading from out there anymore. You're putting a real sophisticated entertainment system out.
That's right. Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. What it used to be 5-6 years ago was, maybe you take the old TV from your house, you build a little cabinet outside, and then dad would go sneak out there and, watch the college football
cold
game
beer and a cigar.
Precisely. Or a warm scotch. Warm
beer and a cigar.
Yeah, like Barbara was saying, these things have changed. We now have sophisticated outdoor kitchens with large grilling and cooking areas and refrigerators and so on. So people want to take their home theater experience or their living experience outside. And in Texas, it's a great place to do that because we have 9 to 10 months of great weather, throughout the year. But what was happening is, just like you said, people would take a regular TV, they'd put it outside, and 2 months later, maybe 6 months later, if they were lucky, they'd be in the middle of a game, and then all of a sudden the TV goes out on them, or maybe even the cable box or what have you. So that's why we got into this market. We use advanced nanotechnology to actually protect all of the circuitry, the electrical connectors.
Nanotechnology. I've seen that in sci-fi movies. The little things, the little baby robot things that climb around inside the.
We don't have any robots.
No.
Not that
I've seen that.
Not that you know of.
That's scary stuff, man.
Well, it's actually pretty neat stuff, though. We have a patented and just a very specific process that we follow to protect the circuitry inside the TVs, and it's invisible to the naked eye. But if you imagine almost like a microscopic pool net that we put over the electronics.
A microscopic
pool net, right? So when you go to skim your pool, right, you try to get all the bad stuff out of it, but the water goes right through it. In our case, this microscopic net that we lay down over every facet allows the air to move back and forth across the circuit boards, but the holes are so small that dust and water molecules can't get in. So part of our demos, when we actually go to demo to some of our larger clients, we have a TV that we've built where we cut out the back of the television, we set it inside a plastic box, and then we fill it with water and turn it on. And we do our presentations with the TV underwater.
Wait a minute. Why can't they do that with my cell phone?
Well, most cell phones now, if you buy a new iPhone or a Samsung, are weather resistant.
I dropped my little pad in the water.
Yeah.
It's no good.
It's no good. Poof. Yeah. We can treat those as well. So we use a similar technology to treat cell phones, laptops.
Only known.
Yeah. If you know, hey, give us a call.
They say if that ever happens, to put it in rice.
I tried it.
It didn't work.
No, they didn't tell me you're not supposed to cook the rice first.
With the phone in the water?
Yeah, with the phone in the water. Right. So, knowing that we can do that, we've then taken that same technology and that same process, and we've started to apply it to entire home theater environments. So we have sound bars with built-in subwoofers and surround sound or mock surround sound. We treat universal remotes, just like what Frank was talking about. One button turns on all your systems, turns off all your systems. and we treat it the same way. So we make those either weather resistant or weatherproof as well.
So and the real trick to this system is you have to go to all the neighbors and you have to sell one to each neighbor so they don't complain.
Or you invite them to the party.
You invite them to the party. There you go.
Yeah, every party.
Charge a cover fee.
So, question from how much more expensive is one of these TVs for outdoors than a regular TV?
That's a great question.
That is a great question.
Thank you.
So, if we look at, I'm going to answer this in a little bit of a roundabout way. There's two ways that you can
He's
look at
dodging the question.
I'm not. I'm going to go right after it.
I thought he
Give you
might.
a thorough answer.
You can look at this in the comparison of how many outdoor TVs or how many non-outdoor TVs would I replace in a period of, say, 2 to 3 years. Our TV is about that same cost, but it comes with
of the 3 TVs?
Of the 3 TVs.
Okay.
Right? So, if you go to your local local electronics place, it's going to cost you about $300 or so to buy a medium-sized TV. Ours are about roughly $300.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have a little bit more outdoor TVs and indoor stuff. You're listening to Your Home with Alex Guthrie. We'll be right back.
That price is not really bad. I mean, for what you're getting,
Are you familiar with the Sunbright?
Yeah.
Okay. So so they're way up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the second part of that answer.
Right.
We're about a third of the cost of our competitors.
So a third, depending on the size.
Right.
That's awesome.
Sierra is a company. They make a TV that they sell for $20,000 an outdoor TV.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
You remember when what name of Liquid Crystal was just flat screen TVs first came out, and a 40 plasma was a 40-inch plasma was $20,000 freaking dollars, and I remember one of my clients bought like 4 or 5 of them.
Holy cow!
In Highland Park, and I was like, wow, look at that thing.
And
now you can't give them away.
No.
I had a dealership.
They're too thick. Nobody wants them.
I had a dealership. I did 9 50-inch plasmas. They were $5,000 a piece.
And now they sell 105-inch LED TVs. I mean, imagine that. They're so big they actually have a foot stand on it. You have to set them on the ground. They're nuts.
It's crazy, isn't it?
They're nuts.
Everything is outdated within a couple of years. Any kind of electronics.
Yeah.
After a couple of years, there's always something better.
Okay. My clock's not up. I'm having to look at the little clock in the screen.
12:31.
Yeah. So I'm not able to.
There's your readers.
I can't see that with these. Yeah. It's all right.
He needs his clock.
They have one out there they're supposed to have up?
No, it's supposed to be on the screen. It's okay. No big deal.
Do we have any new people that you have to say hi
No,
to?
Steve Lawton. Hello, Steve Lawton. Anyway, we will. What else do you guys want to talk about?
You've got a whole page full.
We've got
5 pages of stuff.
Well, we don't want to spend a whole.
No, I know.
Yeah, I think. Let's see. We have.
You've actually asked a lot of the key questions that I had down on here.
Okay. All right.
So are you doing a lot with smart homes? I mean, just, even automating window systems, window shades and all of that.
Yeah.
It's amazing how expensive that is, too.
It depends on what type of system you use.
Yeah,
There are some
really.
less expensive systems that we do a lot of.
That would be maybe a good thing to talk about, too.
Okay.
Because we get a lot of requests for that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Well, maybe we'll do just like one more short question on C-Lock, and then we'll pass it over to Frank.
Okay.
Do you want to do that?
Cool.
Okay.
I'm saying yes, like I have control of this.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah.
You are the woman in the crowd. So
I know, right?
She's in charge.
I think that's a great idea. That's a plan.
Well, there's so much to cover with what you do.
Right.
I mean, there's so much. I could think of a million questions, to ask.
Well, if there's one thing that I would like to.
Am I what?
Totally submerged underwater. That is a great question.
Oh, cool.
Okay, you want to, I don't know.
Yeah. Love it. Love
That's
it.
funny because one of our sample special request was a TV in the bottom of a pool.
Let's do
No
it.
way.
Let's do that. We'll answer that for
how
sure.
fun.
And price was no object.
Alex Guthrie is your guy. What a bad rhyme. The phone lines are open at 214-810-TALK. That's 214-810-TALK. Relax. You're home with Alex Guthrie.
Welcome. Welcome back to Your Home with Alex Guthrie. We are back. We got a great Facebook question from Lindsay. Thank you, Lindsay. Can you do a totally submerged underwater TV? That is a great question because, you know, last time I dropped my TV in the pool, it just didn't work.
You can't let the magic smoke out.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah. No, that is a great question. So the short answer is yes. In fact, I think this was about 2 months ago. We had a potential customer of ours reach out to us and said, listen, I'm building a mansion in Miami. Money is no object. I want to have a TV underwater. So when I'm swimming underwater, I want to be able to watch it. Now, I wouldn't have thought in a million years there'd be a market for that today, but apparently there is. So
how long can he hold his breath?
Yeah, maybe he has scuba gear. He's Scuba Steve.
Could be.
Yeah. So the answer is yes. You know, we would use a lot of the same techniques and the same nanocoating technology that we talked about a few moments ago to treat the insides of that. Now, something like that, you have to deal with immense levels of pressures, right? You know, if you've ever dove to the bottom of a pool, you know, your ears want to pop. That's all pressure that's put on that TV. So in that case, we'd have to build a custom, you know, probably like a titanium or an aluminum type enclosure for that with a very specialized glass to seal it off.
You know, in those like gangster movies,
Yeah.
when someone's in the bathtub and they drop the TV in there,
They electrocute him.
and then you know, and it
Yeah.
electrocutes them. You could play a really ugly joke on somebody with one of your TVs.
That's a new Mafia hit style,
Yeah,
right?
right. Yeah. Tell me where the money is.
It used to be a toaster. Now we're dropping in TVs,
yeah.
apparently.
What the heck? Yeah. So you can actually put a TV submerged, and why a person would do that, I'm not 100% sure.
Well, sometimes when you
Maybe
have,
just to do it,
yeah. I think sometimes
think
when you
so.
have that kind of money, right? You know,
just
it's
because.
just to go to that next level.
That was a great question.
That really
was
is
a
a
great
great question. And if you want to buy one, let us know. We'll take care of you.
So the cost of one of these systems is about 3 times replacement cost for a normal TV.
For an inexpensive TV. If
An
you buy like a
inexpensive TV.
no-name brand type TV.
A no-name brand.
Like when you were
At-
buying your disposable ones because you knew they weren't going to last very long.
at Christmas time when they're on sale for half price.
There you go.
Cr-
No,
yeah.
Black Friday.
Black Friday, right, or Cyber Monday. Our TVs currently range anywhere between $780 to just over $7,000,
Depending on size.
depending on size and various different options that come with it, and whether or not they're weather resistant or weatherproof. So the weatherproof TVs, you could literally hang on the side of your garage. It could be in direct sunlight. It could get rained on 24/7. You know, you can live in Louisiana and this thing can just get pummeled by the rain.
So if you
And still
have
watch
sunlight would be an issue typically outside. So would you have a LED or what kind of a different type of screen?
That's a really good question. So a lot of other manufacturers of outdoor TVs put a TV inside a box and they seal it. And that poses a whole series of problems, one of the worst being glare because it's smooth glass. The TVs that we use have native anti-reflective screens on them, and we don't mess with that. So in addition to that, we do full motion mounts, kind of like the mount where Frank was talking about, pulling it over the fireplace. These can be pulled directly out, tilted, rotated.
So you can adjust it to
Correct.
the light.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
That's very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool.
It is.
But not just regular mounts.
Yeah,
They rust.
yes, that's good point. Thank you, Frank. So all of our mounts are outdoor rated. They're stainless steel. We use special components inside them. So
Mhm.
5, 10, 15 years from now, they look and act just like they did when you first bought
Wow,
them.
that's very awesome.
That is great.
Very awesome.
That is great. So I'm just wondering now, getting back to indoor, a little bit. So do you do automated window treatments, shades that go up and that type of thing as well?
We do.
So you do
Absolutely
everything, make the whole house smart? People
Right.
want smart houses, like genius houses.
Well, yes, but they don't want them to be difficult.
That's correct.
Because the number one request I get by far is it has to be easy to use.
Right.
And I totally get that because I don't want to have to go home from a hard day at work and have to try to remember something or learn something new. And so if I can use a relatively simple interface either in my hand or on the wall or on my phone, or preferably have the ability to do any of the above, and it's got the same interface, which means it looks the same, it operates the same, you push the same buttons no matter which way you're doing it, then I can control things manually, like say, and you press the button you press the button on your key fob. You want to start your engine when it's cold outside. Okay, so you can do things manually, like lock the front door, turn the thermostat up and down from your phone or from the keypad. But you can also set rules whereby I want my front porch lights and my landscape lights to come on at 30 minutes before sunset, and I can either have them run for 2 hours or 3 hours, or I can have them run until 11 o'clock at night.
Now, you program all this for the person, right? Once you install it, you ask all the questions and you get everything programmed so that they don't have to worry about that part of it.
Right.
For the most part, right?
We will absolutely work with them to configure it exactly to their likings, and then we come back another month to see what their living patterns have developed.
Because I laugh at when I see these shades. So we have like let's say we do in a high rise and it's all windows and they have solar shades, and they press the button and they all go up the same exact amount at the same time. I'm like, who programmed that and how did they do that? It's scary to me when I look at that, because I'm thinking if that's something that I have to do, those shades are not going to be, there's going to be a lot of inches in between them.
But now you can do pretty much everything off your cell phone.
Right.
You can control your entire house off of it.
You can. And the cool thing about home automation is not the fact that you can do it manually, but the fact that it can do things automatically
for you.
Right. You can still do everything manually, but over time you get tired of doing this every time.
Right.
And so if you can say every time when I drive up and I hit my garage door opener, I want a trailer lights to open to the rest of my house. Or if I get, say, I'm coming home, I'm 2 miles from my house, I want my thermostat to drop down 5 degrees. You can program any of those activities to happen automatically, and that's where the automation part comes in. So
I have to tell you this too, because it just blew my mind the first time. So we had this client that we were doing his whole house, and he was overseas a lot. So I'd send him a text and I'd say, we're coming over, I'm meeting so-and-so at the house today. He'd say, okay, what temperature do you want the thermostat at? And what type of music do you want? And he would turn the lights on, and I'd come in and the house would be perfectly cool. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, right.
So, from overseas, no matter where you are, you can do it.
I want to find out from you about voice recognition in houses. Can you go in now, and you should be able to, I guess, but I had a lady call me and ask because she was blind, and she wanted to know about voice recognition for controlling a thermostat in her house. Can you do that in place of all? You can do it with everything else on your computer and your phone.
You sure can.
So you can program all this for just voice recognition. So I could just walk in and say, turn on the living room lights. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then you can tie all this into like maybe your security camera or whatever. You can literally, you could be on the other side of the world watching your phone and controlling your house.
Yeah, and somebody walks up to your front door, you can talk to them.
Right.
If it's a friend, you can unlock the door. So you don't have to worry about passing out keys to neighbors anymore or giving them a code.
Or if your kids lose a key or they're coming home early or whatever.
It's no fun being a kid anymore. You
you want to break the window and go in, huh?
It used to be fun.
I know.
I've actually had clients call me up and say, I need you to have someone come over. I had a big executive client of mine. I had to break the window because my wife forgot to leave me the key or whatever, and
And that's what you loved doing as a kid. You didn't want this automated thing. You wanted to break that window.
I didn't.
If
I wouldn't want to be a kid anymore with all this automatic stuff, man. I had too much fun sneaking in and out. I mean, it was fun. It was part of the deal, man. You got away with it.
Yeah, I know.
You jumped off the roof, landed in the trash can, and that happened.
With your Superman cape on.
Yeah. No, I was a teenager, dude. Batman. Superman was a wimp.
I like Spidey myself.
Oh my gosh.
So automatic, we've got the voice recognition, we've got biometrics, which is a big deal now. Or
right.
I guess voice recognition, biometrics. Biometrics is really just starting to take a big part of it now, where you would go in you don't use a key, you use your thumb to unlock your door. You can kind of do that on everything now. You do it on your phone to unlock your phone. Are you using much of that?
Not really. We have used it for some commercial customers because the price point.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still some unreliability in it because hands are dirty, you get cut.
I see.
Things like that.
Okay, Wi-Fi is are you having a hardwire things these days, or is the Wi-Fi, the radio frequency type stuff dominating all of these electronics?
We actually do a lot of overlap because for speed, reliability, and security, hardwired is always going to be your best solution.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we always augment that with wireless coverage throughout the whole home or the whole office space. But the thing about wireless is the more components and more devices you have using up that wireless bandwidth, the slower your speeds are going to be.
Mm-hmm. I see. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, but they're changing the wiring now. You're not we were using that old black cable stuff, and now even the cable companies, I had them out to my house recently, and they're all using, is it Cat 6?
Cat 6 is
and that's just a different type of I guess it just has different wires in it.
Thicker, better twist ratios, and better noise interference cancellation.
But we did a house, and I can't remember if you worked on it or not for me. Sorry, Frank, I don't remember if you did. But we had a wireless TV. She had a wireless TV, and we were all excited about it. It was maybe one of the first ones we had in this area. At least the guy that put it in, he was all excited, and we turned it on. It wouldn't work because of the interference. There was too much interference.
Yeah.
Or wireless things like that different? Has that all improved? I mean, are wireless TVs? I don't have one. I don't know if are you still having problems with things like that with Wi-Fi? Is my question.
It's not near as rampant because the Electronic Industry Association has continued to develop higher and higher standards, changed frequencies that are being used to communicate wirelessly. And the components that are being manufactured are of a higher quality, and the FCC has allowed them to increase their power output, as well as the devices receiving them have better filters to separate the signal from the noise.
I have a client that did a green school, and one of the things that they were really worried about were the effects of the signals that were coming out from doing wireless. I don't know what they're called, the electronic signals that were coming out and getting in people's bodies.
Electromagnetic interference.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that a real concern? I mean, can that be harming people? I mean, they're talking about even signals from cell phones.
There's a lot of argument on both sides of that.
So is anybody asking you to shield their equipment for that type of thing?
No, I haven't had that request. I know that for a long time they wouldn't build houses near power lines,
mm-hmm.
And now they've started building houses closer to power lines. So I'm really not 100% sure.
I'm pretty sure that's why
Can I
my
talk
hair.
about-
I think that's why my hair fell out. I lived under some power lines, but I did get smarter.
Can I talk about that a little bit?
Yeah.
You know, I'm READ Green certified.
No,
So
I
that
did not
means
know
I
that.
understand how to remodel or even build a home, making it, sustainable and healthy. Healthy is a big thing. So out of your outdoor air, your office air, you know, if you work in an office building, or your home air, which do you think is the most toxic?
The indoor air.
Your home air.
Yeah.
And, you know, the reason is because of all the electronics and so on, but you have off-gassing from all the texture that's
Right.
on the wall. You have, you know, PVC is one of the most, offensive things because it's very unhealthy for you. So, you know,
So I can tell my wife
yeah.
it's not my feet. It's the PVC.
You probably can.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, Barbara. I needed some help with that one.
So I'm just saying, you know, something's going to get you.
Thank you. I was just giving you a hard time.
I know you were.
We're going to be back in a few minutes. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to make a ton of money. We'll be back in a few minutes with Your Home with Alex Guthrie. Thanks for listening.
There.
Now we're here.
Mm-hmm. Does that mean we're done? 12:50?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm not done.
I'm not done either.
You can leave if you want, Frank, but I don't want you to leave, Frank. Don't leave.
No, I got 20 more minutes to talk stuff.
We're
here.
still going. Well, I mean, I was just about to get into my smelly feet routine. You haven't heard that one yet. Mary and Kevin Brookshire are listening now. They're very good friends of mine, Mary and Kevin Brookshire. Thank you very much for listening. I'm so glad you're here. Send us a question. They've got this great place out at the lake, and they need an outdoor TV. They need one.
Perfect.
They need one outdoor, outside. They've got this deck. It looks it's like 100 feet right off of Lake Fork.
Wow.
The waves splash. It's awesome.
Oh, I'll
And
bet.
it faces east. And
Oh,
they get
nice.
every sunrise. It is incredible.
Wow.
But today, it's freezing cold.
So what else do you want to talk about? Indoor? I
Yeah,
mean,
what do you guys
smart
got?
home,
What's
smart
on your
home,
list? Do you
what?
want to go, or I mean, you can go or you can stay. We're going to have just a couple more minutes, and then we're going to just do a little wind down and rock.
Well, what's at the very end there?
It was really just if you want to find out more about our products, how do you find out about it?
Yeah, well, let's do that. We'll just kind of close out with that, and then I'll we'll have some more stuff.
Okay.
Barbara and I had a couple more things we could cover.
You do good, man.
Thanks.
Frank, you're a star.
He's a stud.
I believe you. If you say so.
He's a radio stud.
He finally said something nice, though. Right? I mean, instead of picking on you all the time.
I feel the love.
I love Frankie.
I know. Right?
We love each
Except for
other.
you finding out jobs he hadn't been using me on, I don't feel the love now.
I like somebody to call me and need me for something.
All right, fine. I'll tell you after I get out.
I guess you can wash his feet or something.
Ooh.
That is the
You
ultimate
do that
episode.
at the homeless. Don't you do that at the homeless shelter? Is that what they do down there at the Christian homeless shelter?
Yeah.
If I wash Frank's feet, it's because he's in a real bad place.
And you're in a real bad
And
place.
I'm down there helping.
Yeah, if we want to ask more questions, I
Look
mean,
at today.
we can stay for a
Train.
little bit longer.
And
I'm
you
good.
know
Are
it's hard to stop a train. So for the best heating and air conditioning contractors in North Dallas and Plano for the past 60 years, call my friends at Total Air and Heat, 972-881-0020. That's 972-881-0020. Or visit them online at totalair.com. Total Air and Heat. Welcome back to your home.
They got you.
It got me. Usually when Phil points at me like that, it means it's time to be a star again. He got me that time.
Nope.
Welcome back to Your Home with Alex Guthrie. We're back for real this time. We're here with Rick Webster, Frank Boyd of Boyd on a Wire. So how do people get in touch with you if they want one of your fabulous TVs or some of Frank's fabulous knowledge and talent inside their house?
Good question.
Rock and roll.
Excellent. Thank you, Alex. So to get one of our outdoor TVs or any of our outdoor entertainment systems, you can go to www.sealocktx.com. That's SEALOCTX.com. Or you can call us at 972-525-9800. And for Boyd on a Wire, you can go to www.boydonawire.com. That's BOYD onawire.com. And you can call us at 972-525-9700.
You know, Frank was wondering why I haven't called him in a while. And it's because I kept trying to get Bird on a Wire. I don't know why I keep making that mistake. Wasn't that like a movie or something?
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was.
I'm sorry, Frank.
Mel Gibson and Goldie Hawn.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That's right. That's right.
Wow.
All this time.
Good memory.
I was looking for a name. When I started my company back in '99, and I wanted to let people know that I'm really invested in the company. 'Cause I wanted to put my name out there, not for arrogance, but just to know that I'm standing behind it and that sort of thing, family business. And so then I came across the movie Bird on a Wire, and I thought, Boyd on a Wire. Okay, that makes sense because it jives with kind of what we do. You know, a lot of cabling, infrastructure, installations, that sort of thing.
Well, it makes perfect sense.
And it's pretty memorable.
Yeah,
a lot of people
it is.
have remembered it over the years.
Unless you're a movie buff, and then you think it's Bird on a Wire. But no, I really enjoyed you guys. It was really a lot of fun. I really do appreciate it. And we'll do some more stuff together. And it was great information. And you know, it's what's amazing is how far they've come with all this technology that is not having to take the old TV and sticking it out in the yard anymore.
Right.
And the thing is, the cost of them, the cost of the equipment has gotten, it's so much more affordable. And the investment that people are making into their outdoor living areas, it's worth it. I mean, it's just another, really, I'm saying just another couple of grand or a few $1,000s, but at the amount of money people are spending on these things, you're spending $100,000 on one of these outdoor living areas.
It's
easy.
an extension of your home.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Definitely
It's
is a
absolutely
lifestyle. You know, people are even putting retractable doors into the house to open the whole thing up. It's amazing what a huge industry it's become.
Well, seriously, you could have a smaller home footprint in an outdoor living area, and in an area like ours, you almost have year-round use of it.
Yeah,
right.
And they've developed all sorts of ways that you can use it, even in cold and hot weather.
Sure.
Of course, there's nothing like a swimming pool. Okay, Miss Barbara.
Yes, sir.
All right, we were talking about kitchens. And the one thing that I wanted to talk to you about was some of the appliances. I've lost track of my piece of paper.
Well,
here.
we were talking about the induction.
The induction and steam.
Oh, now I have a steam oven. Now,
Do
you
you?
would think that I'm this huge cook, and I'm not. However, Jen Air sent me up to their headquarters and demonstrated a lot of their newer items, and I was just amazed. They cooked creme brulee and salmon
In a steam
steam oven.
Really?
And there is no flavor transfer.
Really?
Wow.
Yes, and everything that they cooked.
Is
in
that because
steam-
of the wine you had before the
that helped? But no, I will tell you
helps me every time with that flavor transfer.
I like fishy creme brulee. It's just saying.
The steam actually encapsulates the food. So it keeps it healthy, it keeps the vitamins, all the nutrients in, but it also prevents the the flavor transfer. So I've made, in my steam oven, I've made, corn on the cob and broccoli and a bunch of vegetables, and they really, really are delicious.
Mhm.
Now, on the downside, steam oven comes with this huge, thick sponge. And you really have to wipe the whole thing down when you get done because there's steam every time. I didn't realize, they didn't show us that at Gen Air.
So what happens if you don't? Does it make a big globby mess?
Well, you'll have water at the
with
bottom.
lots of
bio
messy
you would,
stuff.
You would.
Yeah.
And the other important thing with a steam oven is that you want to make sure it has its own reservoir. You don't want it to be hooked up to a water supply, because you always want fresh water going in there. Say you don't use it for 2 or 3 weeks, and all of a sudden you turn on the water. Now you're cooking with water that's just been sitting in the pipes a while.
Oh,
so when it has its own reservoir, you feel it. But the nice thing is you can cook. It becomes a convection oven as well.
Huh.
So you can cook with or without the steam.
Wow.
Yeah,
that is great information.
I love it. Yeah,
that is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we're at the end of the road here. It's been a great show.
I've enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Brown. Thank you for all your help. We've had a lot of fun today. Next week, I'll be back. You've been listening to Your Home with Alex Guthrie. Have a great week.